Susie and Travis here from the WOLF Hunters. We react video for you. Don't we, Travis?
Yeah.
And it is so good today.
Wait, okay.
Oh, this link that's below me is in the description box. I was just thinking about how good of a day it was.
You are? Why was it such a good day?
It was so good. It was just a good day. It was a really good day, and now it's better. Want to know why?
Why?
Because we're doing a reaction video. I'll tell you who it's from soon. This link that's below me is in the description box. That's where you can submit your reaction request, be it for music or comedy or a documentary segment or classical performance, whatever you want, you can submit that. Ooh, a contemporary dance, whatever you want. Down at this link below in the description box. Today's video is brought to you guys by Donka. Bringing us my Tolkien Pipe from Malcolm Guite. Or Sweet Guite.
I don't know.
I don't know how you say that. Perhaps they'll say in the video. Anyways, Donk says, "Hi, Susie and Travis. So this is a request from Mrs. Kadonk."
Oh, well, hello there.
Hello there, Mrs. Kadonk. What is your first name?
I love that Kadonk. Mrs. Kadonk wants to put in a request.
Donk loves Mrs. Kadonk's Donk. Tonk. I think. I don't really know if that's true, but I would assume. Donk goes on to say she loves this poet and scholar. She says that his office and pipe smoking reminds her of her dad. Oh, my dad smoked a cherry pipe when I was younger that would waft from the backyard into my room. And so it's nostalgic, the smell. Good memories. Anyways, she also said to pay attention to all the various items you see in the background. We hope you enjoy this detour down a somewhat less taken road.
All right.
Kindest regards, Dawn and Yvonne Kadonk. Dawn and Yvonne.
Dawn and Yvonne.
Yeah, Dawn, yeah, come on. Hit the like button and subscribe. I feel that my parents might have a similar chair to that with the embroidered seat. Could be wrong.
Oh, come in.
Come in. Hello.
Come in.
Oh, you find me sitting quietly with my pipe and smoking again. End of a long day, but always a pleasure. I like that phrase in, I think...
Was that lighter fluid behind the flask and the flask? It's a lot of books to have lighter fluid in there, if that's what that is. Just, I can't tell.
Flask. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
I don't know.
End of a long day, but always a pleasure. I like that phrase in, I think it's...
That's a long pipe!
Theoden talking to Merry in The Lord of the Rings when he says, yeah, when you sit at peace with your pipe. And, actually, this, as you can probably see, is my Tolkien pipe. I associate pipes with writers or books or occasions. And it's still a Peterson, though. It's a lovely churchwarden, as they're called, these long-stemmed pipes. It's got a green
long stem pipe.
stain.
A long stem pipe, which is very different than the pipe I'm used to, which is very short. I mean, not that kind of pipe. I'm thinking more like the Sherlock Holmes kind of pipe.
Like the one that's like...
Yeah, but not that big. Isn't it small?
Like the Little Mermaid pipe? Like...
I don't know Little Mermaid very well.
Oh. Snarfblat.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Guys, in America, we no longer smoke in the house.
Not usually.
Not usually.
It's not
common.
It's not
It was
common.
common, but not anymore.
It was.
A lovely briar bowl. But I suppose it's the kind of pipe that one associates with that whole Lord of the Rings world. And I have to confess that I read that book first as a teenager and was completely entranced by it. I've read it many, many times since, and actually my first foray or venture into pipe smoking was very much inspired by that, so it's been a lifelong pleasure. And I think I used to have it as on a Tolkien calendar on the wall, but this is a nice edition of the Lord of the Rings.
That's a well-loved book.
Illustrated by Alan Lee. And that picture is really formative for me, an absolute favourite. I used to have it up on the wall just there from a calendar. It's just beautiful. The kind of glow of light around Gandalf's face. I also like the learned little note about pipeweed which he inserted, you know.
Did he say
concerning
pipe weed?
Pipe.
Is that what he said?
Pipe weed?
I don't know.
Pipe reed?
Is there like
I don't know anything about pipes.
like, you know how you like show off a little bit? I don't know what the right word is, but is there like in the pipe world, like
A connoisseur?
like, oh, my pipe is sounds terrible.
My pipe is longer than your pipe. He came with a rather short pipe. Stubby.
Oh my gosh. Mrs. Dunkadunk is watching this one.
No, Mrs. Kadonk.
Mrs. Kadonk. Oh,
Yeah.
Mrs. Kadonk. Yvonne.
Yvonne.
About pipeweed which he inserted, you know, concerning pipeweed. Oh, I've got my glasses on. There's another astonishing thing about hobbits of old that must be mentioned. An astonishing habit. They imbibed or inhaled through pipes of clay or wood the smoke of the burning leaves of a herb which they called pipeweed or leaf, a variety probably of Nicotiana. A great deal of mystery surrounds the origin of this peculiar custom. I love that. But it's certainly reflective, meditative, peaceful habit for me, but it's also associated with inspiration and writing, and I love the way all those photographs of the Inklings at their best and at the peak of their powers, you often see them as it were lit.
So I noticed that
His face, so perfect.
I noticed that he keeps covering the top of the pipe. I'm not sure. It looks like there's a purpose to that, but I don't know what the purpose is.
I know, but every once in a while, a little circle puffs out, and that's so
From the
fun.
flame of a match by the bowl of a briar pipe. And there's a photo. Well, there's an interesting thing. I'll just get it from the shelf here. I absorbed, of course.
Oh, look at that cool.
Look, even on the cover of this, it's wonderful. I absorbed Humphrey Carpenter's biography of Tolkien. And
Tolkien. Is that how you said that?
I remember when I wanted to write a poem about Tolkien and about his ideas about how stories work and language itself and the Tree of Tales, a kind of poetic response to his great essay on fairy stories in the collection Tree and Leaf. I somehow remembered, and I thought it was from this book, a photograph of Tolkien leaning back into a tree with his pipe in his hand. And I wrote a poem which was about the combination of the pipe and the tree and Tolkien. And then I wrote the poem sitting on the top of a double-decker bus, wrote it on the back of a scrap of paper. And when I came back to look for the photo, just to get my thing right, I discovered that, sure enough, the photo of the tree was there. This is the very last photo of Tolkien ever taken with his favourite tree in the Oxford Botanical Gardens. But no pipe. And then I realised that on the opposite page were no less than 3 photos of Tolkien with his pipes. Somehow they got fused in my mind. But anyway, by that time the poem was written, so I wasn't minded to change it. I thought a photograph must exist of Tolkien with his pipe and a tree. Anyway, just if you've got a moment, I'll read you the poem. It's one other of the poems where I happen to celebrate pipes as well as other things. And the poem, which is from my singing bowl book, is called Patterns, brackets, Tree and Leaf. Tolkien is leaning back into an oak, old, gnarled, distinct in bowl and burr, as from the burr and bowl of his old pipe, packed with tightly patterned shreds of leaf. The smoke ascends in rings and wreaths of air to catch the autumn light and meet such leaves as circle through its wreaths and patter down in patterns of their own to the rich ground. Again, he contemplates the tree of tales, the roots of language in its rings of growth, the tongue and tail and teller all coeval, and he becomes a pattern, making patterns, a tale telling tales and turning leaves, from the print of thumb and finger on his pipe, to the print and press and pattern of his books, and all their prints and imprints in our minds, out to this grainy, patterned photograph of Tolkien leaning back into an oak.
I love this. I mean, we're almost at the end here. I love this. I love hearing him read. We briefly talked a while ago, I don't know if you remember this, about trying to be a book reader, like an audio book voice, but my vocal, I feel, doesn't sound like this. He is, his voice is seasoned with, like, adventure. And that comes across when he's reading. I mean, he's reading his own poem, but I'm sure that comes across.
It sounded like he could also sing. Like he had...
Well, there's many instruments in the background. Yeah. There's a guitar, there's other kinds of guitar-looking things. So, I mean, I love his voice while he reads. Yeah.
Go through one's mind, but yes, I think part of the sheer pleasure of the pipe for me comes out of the rich associations of the stories and storytelling of J.R.R. Tolkien. Anyway, Slan Sharon, thanks for dropping round.
What do you think he's drinking?
Some whiskey.
Whiskey?
Some scotch.
Scotch whiskey. Thank you so much for that one. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to request your own personal reaction video, you can find this link right here in the description box below the video. Click it and pick it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment below. Stay tuned. Stay positive.
We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.